Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm so glad that everybody decided to click on this video and see what this new tag is all about. Now, as you read from the title, I have done the eyeshadow palette tag. This is the eyeshadow palette lovers tag. Now, I've seen this from Nichole Fischer. I will put a picture in. I will also be tagging her so that she can see this video. I love her to death. I watched her before I even started my own channel. She keeps you very much up to date on BoxyCharm. I absolutely love her. So when I seen her do this tag, I thought, well, I really hate copying people, but at the same time, I love to talk about my eyeshadow palettes. So, Nichole, I am going to do this tag. Thank you for putting it out there for the rest of us to see it. Now, the original creator of this tag, you give credit where credit is due, is Angelica Lyemar. I will leave her channel along with Nichole's channel down in the description box, along with the questions. There are 10 questions. If you have a channel, please feel free to do this tag. The more the merrier. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, I did pull all of my palettes out. I am going to start off by what is on my eyes. I am wearing the Hip Dot Opulence palette on my eyes today. I think it turned out absolutely pretty. I did do my eyes to match my outfit. This is a sheen outfit. I will have that video coming up very, very soon. But until then, this is what we have today. I am also wearing the Peach Stole My Look Wet n Wild catsuit, topped with the Too Faced Bump and Rind lip gloss. I think it came out very, very pretty. The whole look came out very pretty. I was very happy with the look at the end result. So that is what is on my face. I am also wearing some of the Rare Beauty blush in the color Grace. I think it's absolutely stunning. So that's what's on my face. So let's go ahead and get started with these questions. Question number 1 is a palette I regret I didn't buy. Now I will have to put a picture in here because I still haven't bought it. But that palette is the Jaclyn Hill Volume 2 palette. I have neither one of those palettes. I don't have any of the Vault palettes, although I drool over all of them. So that is the one palette that I regret that I did not buy. Number 2 will have to be a picture also. Number 2 is a palette I regret buying. Now my palette will have to be a picture, is the Natasha Denona Love palette. Now when I first started my channel, I swore I would never buy a Natasha Denona palette because of the price. And I had it. I didn't use it for like 5 months. I never touched this palette. I used it once and I absolutely hated it. I did sell it on my Mercari. It did sell fairly fast. I do wish them all the luck. But for me, it was a total flop. Number 3 is a palette I haven't used as much as I thought. For me, that is the Tati Beauty Volume 1 Neutrals palette. I bought my palette off of Mercari. I paid $90 for this palette. It is a beautiful palette. That is what it looks like. Now, I have given it some love. I think it's an absolutely stunning palette. She did a great job with this palette. But I really thought that I would use it more, and especially for what I paid for it. And I just don't. I love the palette. It's a great palette. Even the glitters are amazing. But I don't use it as much as I thought I would when I bought it. So that was number 3. Oh, I forgot the little plastic cover. Every time I've used this palette, it has made a beautiful look. No matter if it's daytime, nighttime, evening, date night, special occasion, the whole 9 yards. Number 4 is a palette I use more than I thought I would. Now that palette, this palette that I'm going to talk about, I really did not think I would use it as much as I do, for the fact of it being a blue palette. Blue is not a color that really speaks to me, or so I thought. But this palette does. And I'm talking about the Jeffree Star Cosmetics Blue Blood palette. This is an absolutely stunning, beautiful palette. And you can see my dips and dunks and holes and all of the above. It's just a beautiful, beautiful palette. I love this palette. It makes some very, very pretty looks. And I've paired it with Blood Sugar. It's an absolutely stunning palette. The outside is just as beautiful as the inside. And I did put my Jeffree Star Blue Blood sticker on the back of my Blue Blood palette, because I'm quite corny like that. But that is my I use more than I thought I would when I purchased palette. Number 5 is my favorite half neutral, half colorful palette. Now for me, that was fairly easy. I adore this palette. I don't use it as much as I should. I've never done a look on video with it, but I plan on it. And that is the Me, Myself, and Mitchell times Beauty Bay palette. This is an absolutely stunning palette. The way it's put together, the whole 9 yards. It has the pull-out mirror. And then that is what it looks like. You have everything from neutrals to colorful to everything in between. The formula is nice to work with. I've played with it a ton. I did catch my fingernail in it at one point. But this is a stunning palette. I mean, the colors in here are just fabulous. Pretty, pretty, pretty colors. I mean, this is a beautiful, beautiful palette. And the pigment, you can see for yourself, it is stunning. It's a stunning, beautiful palette. And it's fairly reasonable priced also. So if you don't have this palette, this is definitely a palette I would recommend to anybody. It's simple to use. It's simple to create an eye look. And if both parts stress you out to look at, you can always keep the mirror in and do it from side to side. The possibilities are endless, and it's up to you how you choose to use this fabulous palette. Besides the inside, the outside is just as pleasing. So that was my half neutral, half colorful palette. Number 6 is a palette I bought for packaging. And I know all of y'all, or a lot of y'all that watch my channel, are going to go, oh, it's something Too Faced. It's not. I was pleasantly surprised that it wasn't. But it is the Lancome Big Monsieur 12 Shades of Love. I absolutely love the packaging on this. My husband bought me this palette. It's super cute, super affordable, and it's pretty. I mean, I've made some great looks with it. It's beautiful, and the packaging, I love the packaging. The little heart gets me every time. So this one was picked up from completely just the packaging. Number 7 is a palette that you like the shimmers more than the mattes. Now mine is the Moschino and Sephora computer palette. I had to have this palette. I did buy it when it went on sale. It's just a beautifully stunning palette. Oh my goodness! It's a beautifully stunning palette, but the shimmers in here are just unlike anything. Just so pretty. I'm going to do 2 shimmers, and I'll do 2 mattes. Now, while the mattes, they show up, they're nice, but you have to build them. There are some of those colors. There is a matte. There is a matte. And there is a shimmer, and there is a shimmer. Those shimmers are just stunning, and I reach for this palette just for the shimmers sometimes because they are so pretty. And I bought this palette based on Leanne Serrero. When she bought it, I absolutely fell in love with it. Here is another shimmer. I mean, the shimmers in here are so worth buying this palette. So this is one that I like the shimmers way better than the mattes. I think that they just justify themselves. They're that pretty. I would recommend that palette just based on the shimmers. Number 8 is a palette that you like the mattes more than the shimmers. And I'm sure this is not going to surprise anybody. That would have to be the Melt 420 palette that came out this year. This is a beautiful, beautiful palette. The packaging is super cool. Super 90s. It's a beautiful palette. The mattes in here are fantastic. The colors are great. And it has one shimmer, and you would think that it would be mind-blowing to only have one shimmer. But that is lackluster if I ever saw. Let's do a couple of these mattes. Which one was that? Okay, and here is a couple of the matte colors. Now, you can see for yourself, that shimmer just doesn't hold up to the rest of this lovely, beautiful palette. So, for my love the mattes better than the shimmer palette, that is the palette that I would choose. I love the colors that are in there, but that shimmer, I don't use it. I despise it. When I first bought this palette, that was one of the things that just blew me away in the palette. It has one shimmer. You would think that it would just be outstanding, but it isn't. Number 9, a palette that happily surprised you. Now, I had never ordered from Glamlight. I had seen people rave about Glamlight and how great the products were, the whole 9 yards. So I did step out and buy the pizza, the street taco, and the burger palette by Glamlight. This burger palette super surprised me. I made one of the prettiest looks that I can still think of to this day with this palette. And to look at it, you know, it looks, you know, it doesn't look like it's anything special or spectacular. But when you put it on your eyes, oh, it's so pretty. If I can find a picture of the look I created with this palette, I will put it in. It's just stunning. The colors in here are beautiful. Just rich, vibrant, beautiful. Let's see one more. Let's do a green. Those are some of the colors. Glamlight does not play. Their colors are there. There are some of those colors. I mean, vibrant, rich pigmentation. The shimmers are stunning. You can see them. And it stays. So, I was pleasantly surprised by this palette when I bought it and used it. I love this palette. I have not really dived into the other two. But this one I go to over and over and over again. And yes, I've made the same look a few times, but when it performs that well and looks that great, you just can't help yourself. I did purchase the Glamlight Ice Cream Dream palette. I am waiting for that to come in. So I'm hoping that that is just as good as this one. And then for number 10, a palette with the most interesting color story. Now the palette that I have with the most interesting color story is probably very controversial. This palette is discontinued, and I do apologize for that, but this color story amazes me, and I'm talking about the Jeffree Star Cosmetics Alien palette. Not only is the packaging so cool, I think this is the coolest palette that I have, but the color story in here is beautiful. I mean, I have colors in this palette that I don't have anywhere else. This Moon Rock, Space Cowboy, Probe, and Alien. These colors just, they're not like anything else. Rich, vibrant, beautiful, beautiful colors. I mean, those are just, you can see it. They're just beautiful, different kind of colors that I don't have anywhere else. I don't have another palette that mocks these colors, that I can get that moon rock color from, that I love so much. That Alien, that is one of my favorite green shimmers to date. I do have a extra palette that is brand new, that has never been touched, just for the simple fact that I don't ever want to be without that color. Ever. It's beautiful. So that was the end of the questions. I found this tag to be so super interesting. It allowed me to go through my collection and actually think about what I had, think about what I liked, think about what I used, think about things that I haven't used in a while, hence that Tati palette. So with this, I am going to tag a few people. I tried to keep it at 5, and then I tried to keep it at 10, and then I just finally stuck at a dozen. I tagged a dozen people. So I am going to tag A Day in the Life of Michelle, Just Jessica, Karen Ann MUA, Jeannie at Unfiltered 50s, L Niggs, Candy Sass, Rhonda Said, Abadabs, Beauty and More with Renee, Just Ann, Allie Dawson, and Rhonda at Hot Mess Mama MD. I do hope that y'all ladies and gentlemen join in for this fun tag. I thought it was super cool. And you get to talk about your eyeshadow palettes. So, guys, I know that's right up your alley. So I hope that you join in. Comment down below, even if you don't have a channel. If you'd like to answer the questions, I'd love to hear your responses. And if I didn't tag you, go ahead and do this tag. It's fun. So that's my video for the day. I appreciate you taking the time to stop by. Please do like or dislike this video. It really does help my channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Becca. I am so glad that you took a moment to watch this video. If you're not subscribed, please do so now. I would love to have you join the family. We're growing every day. And that's it, guys. Until next time, love yourself. And remember, I love you too. Bye.